and welcome. This is my drawing studio, and I'm starting here because the next piece I'm doing, the next sculpture, is a figurative piece, and I will be making preliminary drawings here. But before I go into sharing that process with you, and the whole process of creating a sculpture, this particular sculpture called You Are Here, from the very beginning till its completion, hopefully, I want to just briefly share with you the journey that I had to take to be able to do figurative sculpture, because drawing a figure has never come easy to me. And in the 70s when I began, I realized that I needed to delve more deeply into anatomy so that I could really grasp the human form. And so here is my journey. So I start with drawing right straight from the medical books, right from the, Gray's Anatomy, studying every little bump and crevice, everywhere a muscle or a tendon would attach, how bones fit together as a full skeleton. And so, taking that knowledge, I borrowed, this is Matilda, I borrowed her, she's a real skeleton, from a nearby hospital when I was living in my little cabin in the woods in upstate New York. And she lived with me for quite a while, and she and I would do drawing sessions daily. And she was a great opportunity to be able to work directly from a real skeleton, put her in different poses and positions to see what the bones do and what they look like from different angles and perspectives. And it looks like she has a little bit of arthritis in her hands. And so yes, I could see things from all angles, top, bottom, side. And her head was removable, so I could also put her head in different position, the skull, so I could understand that form in space. And again, posing her in different positions. And once I could focus in on like the scapula, and when I would go to my live drawing sessions, then instead of drawing just really the model, I would draw the model, but I would really draw the skeleton and hang the muscles and skin onto the skeletal form. But this was a way for me to understand that foundational form underneath the human body. And of course, then it was about really learning the muscles, their origin, their insertion points. And again, going back to the medical text for a time of study, learning the names and what muscles do when they are active or inactive. And then going back to the model and focusing in on different muscle groups. Here it's the shoulder, the pectoralis major, and biceps, and how everything interlaces with each other and where the bony skeleton, the landmarks are. And it was great to have a model who was thin and incredibly strong. And still not feeling completely confident, then I moved into gestural work. So I figured out a system that worked for me so that I could describe the form and also then illustrate the active, inactive sides, how the lines of the body move throughout the whole entire form, getting that sense of flowing and action and movement. Art Students League, New York, lots of time drawing from the figure there. Finding different ways of looking at the figure, keeping its form very, very solid. I was able to study with Peter Cox, an excellent instructor. So daily, that's what I would do for hours and hours and hours. And still wanting to know the figure even more, my next step was then to create a sculpture. This is out of plasticine. It is starting with the the skeletal form. And you can see I'm working with a real skeleton in the background because this skeleton has to be exactly right, because the next stage of this is to then lay on one muscle at a time onto the skeletal form. An incredibly excellent way to learn anatomy. It took quite a while. I think this took me about 6 months to do, but well worth it. Well worth the study. And this next photo is for your entertainment value purely. And this is myself in my Arizona studio, probably 1995, 96, somewhere in there. And that is my process of learning.